You built Chaos wrong. I know, because I did too. And I was still doing some decent damage, then I fixed 2 stats and doubled my numbers overnight. I'll show you exactly how I built him. First off, Chaos runs on 2 things, Crime and Warrant. You attack, you stack Crime, you build a skill or ult, and the enemies get the Warrant. And pretty much you hold the basic attack, that's Final Verdict, and then consume all your Crime, detonating for massive settlement damage. Pretty much a simple loop, is it? You would think. Here's the thing that's going to feel wrong at first. Every DPS in NTE, you stack crit damage, that's pretty much the rule. Not just in NTE, in pretty much every gacha game out there. With Chaos, well, you don't. His orc, his cartridge set, and his entire kit gives him so much crit that adding more gives you almost nothing. The actual multiplier on Chaos is Lakshana damage. So someone would ask, wait, what would I do then? Well, I would say your priority would be Lakshana damage, attack percent, crit damage percent, and then finally at the end would be crit rate. Main stats, substats, everywhere. You just really don't have to kill Lakshana damage first every single time. Now, most people flip this. That's why the Chaos feel like he's missing something. Now for the Orc, the permanent Lakshana damage boost from what's decided as his signature weapon is pretty much the best in every single scenario. You get 40% crit damage for 20 seconds, and it resets when you trigger it again. What if I don't have the signature weapon? If you have the battle pass, go to the fluff of Curiosity. It also stacks crit damage on every single crit, and Chaos crits constantly. But if you run the battle pass weapon, flip the cartridge main stat to crit rate. You need to compensate for what the signature weapon is giving you. That's pretty much the only situation I can think of where the priority stat shifts. Also, the thing that surprised me most with the weapons, that his next best alternative isn't actually an S-rank weapon. It's a 4-star called A Time Will Come. It gives a crit rate subset and it grants Chaos 10% attack, 10% defense, and 10% HP. But that's only when the team has at least 3 different Esper types. Now for the console, 3 Boxer is the choice. It gives you double crit rate buff, ramps up to 28% in total when you trigger Remora or Stain. His console bonus gives him 16% crit damage per type 3 model, stacking up to 4 type 3 models, and that's pretty much a 64% crit damage just from the console passives alone. And the model main stat, Lakshana damage, period. Substat, go to crit rate, crit damage, universal damage, or attack percent. One rule for building a Chaos team though, someone on the team applies Remora or Stain, that's pretty much it. Those stats says trigger Street Boxer, without them, the set is half a set. So the best Chaos team would be Chaos, Hathor, Asper Zero, and Fadio. Hathor is pretty much mandatory. She extends Remora to 12 seconds, and Chaos Remora's detonation does more damage the longer it lasts. With this massive bonus past A5, at 12 seconds you're hitting the damage ceiling every single hit. She also gives a 10% crit rate to anyone with Remora on it. And the budget team would be Chaos, Kia, Asper Zero, and then Haniel. Haniel also provides Psyche for her hexed reactions. But for the rotation, I would make it very simple. Use Chaos' skills first, then use the support abilities from Fadia or Haniel. Get the buffs and shred him as much as you can, then switch back to Chaos, use his ult, and then spam Final Verdict for 12 whole seconds. But if you still do not have your crime charges full, I would suggest you spam basic attack before using the ultimate. And for the awakening priority, I would go with False Origin number 6. It immediately fills the crime gauge whenever Chaos uses its ultimate, allowing you to immediately use an empowered health basic attack. And then I would go with Piercing Insight at A1, because this awakening increases the crime that Chaos gets. And that was pretty much how you build Chaos. Lakshana damage first, Hathor in the team, Remora up before the explosion, then Final Verdict, run that and Chaos stops feeling like a character you're playing around with. If I helped you fix him, drop it in the comments. Also tell me what character you want me to build next. That was it from me. My name is Valian. See you guys next time.